Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this video on the Pisces full moon. We're also going to be taking a look at Mercury retrograde as well. So if you are new here, a warm welcome. If you've been with me a while, a warm welcome to you too. So my name is Kara. When I do these cosmic energy readings, I'm studying the astrology, and I'm also sharing guidance from the Akashic records as well. So I like to work with both of these modalities together, and they really help us understand how we can work with these cosmic shifts and energies in the highest timeline to support our creations. So let us dive right in, beginning with Mercury retrograde. So on August 23rd, Mercury went retrograde for the third time this year, and it's going to be in retrograde until September the 15th. And this is not a negative thing. Sometimes with retrogrades, all the planets take their turn to retrograde. And we actually have a lot of planets in retrograde motion right now. But for whatever reason, we hear the most about Mercury. And I mean, I understand that because it is a personal planet. So it governs our day-to-day communications and technology. And I think too often, though, it is just looked at in those shadow aspects of miscommunications, misunderstandings, or tech mishaps. And we just got to look at it in a different way because there is a deeper way that we can connect and work with this energy. So Mercury retrograde, especially right now, this retrograde is happening in its home sign of Virgo. So it's still very strong, even in retrograde motion. And it's really supporting you in looking at your daily routine through new eyes, being able to see details and hone in on the details that at other times you may overlook. And it is this beautiful reminder that small changes that we make in our life, in our routine, that are consistent, lead to really big shifts in our life over time. So I definitely encourage you this Mercury retrograde to examine your routine. Look at like things that Mercury and Virgo represent as well. So this can also be your health routine, how you're nourishing your body. Are you getting the sleep that you need? Are you caring for yourself? It can really place a spotlight on productivity as well, where you're wasting energy. We can waste a lot of energy in like busy work, and it's actually not moving us toward our goal. And it is exhausting us, though. It is leading to burnout. So this is a good time to look at how you're using your energy, where your focus is going, and how you can clean that up a little bit. And I really like to look at it as well of not only just productivity, but how can I infuse more joy and play in our life? And that really comes in with the Venus retrograde right now, where it's the time where we're overlapping Mercury and Venus both retrograde. And that Venus retrograde is really a time to look at what lights you up, what brings you joy, where are you so focused on results and productivity that you lost that sense of playfulness, and like how can you bring that back into your life? How can you bring that back into your daily routine? And so I also support a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, and this is actually an awesome time to revisit old projects. So it may not necessarily be a time to put those new creations out into the world, although nothing is ever like, do this, don't do that. There's so many nuances here as well, like so many nuances. But it is a beautiful time to revisit old projects and look at how you could even like fine tune them a little bit more, make them more potent, more powerful, and perhaps releasing them again into the world. So something I'm actually doing right now is I have a flash sale that I'm doing on one of my all-time favorite courses. It's called Soulful Goddess, and it's really helping you tap into your full creative potential and power, and how to work with the divine feminine energy to call in and attract the experiences you want. So I'll attach that in the comments, but that's just an example of looking at these courses I've created in the past that are so powerful, and being able to like share them with more people again. So I encourage you to do the same. And with this Mercury retrograde, you can even see it through new eyes. So you may go back to an old program or course you've created, and you have new ideas of ways that basically you can just make it more powerful for your clients, more enjoyable for you. So that's another way that you can work with this Mercury retrograde. Now, it also is a strong focus on communication here as well. So, looking at how you are communicating with the people around you, the power of your words, but not just your words, but how you communicate through your body language, through your voice tone, through the energy that people feel behind your words. That's definitely taking a spotlight right now as well. And it also just reminds us to have that clear communication if we are uncertain, instead of jumping to conclusions, just like clarify. That is important with always, but with this Mercury retrograde, clarify, be aware of the potency that your words can hold and how you can word things in a way that can land a little better and just improve that connection with the people around you. So those are some tips for working with this retrograde. And I want to go in now, kind of shift focuses slightly and look at this full moon, this beautiful, powerful Pisces full moon. This is another super moon. This one is actually the closest to the Earth so far. So we are definitely, it's going to look beautiful in the sky if you're able to spot it, look extra bright. And it's also extra potent being a super full moon as well. So I'm going to share my screen so we can have a visual representation of these energies as well. So this is the full moon over here in the sign of Pisces. Anytime it's a full moon, it's opposing the sun, which makes it a full moon. So we have the sun at 7 degrees of Virgo, opposite the moon at 7 degrees of Pisces. So the Pisces archetype is very ethereal. It's very spiritual. It connects us to our emotional well-being, our intuition, our imagination, the power in dreaming big. In its shadow form, we really want to look at areas in our life where we are escaping. And it is also associated with escapism, with addictions, with things that we just don't want to see and look at. So we kind of like, we avoid it. We try to escape. It can also, in the shadow phase or lower octave expression, feel like we're walking through a fog and lead to an element of confusion. So the reason I like to share both the higher octave and the lower octave is so we are aware of where we're falling on that scale, not with judgment, but with awareness, with curiosity, knowing how these energies can play out, knowing you have a choice. And with this energy, you can really tap into new levels of creativity at this time. You are reminded to really listen to the messages that your intuition, that your soul is sending you. You are reminded that you always have the power to connect to your higher self, to see life through her eyes. And as you do, things shift, right? That when we change the lens at which we are looking at the world, our experiences, how we show up, what we expect, how we interact with other people, what we believe to be true, like all of that changes. And this really is a call to rise into higher levels of consciousness, which is actually who you are, to align more with that energy of love. The Piscean archetype just radiates true love, true beauty. So the opposite of that here, we're going to take a look at the Virgo energy as well, because with the full moon, we're always working with those opposites. And right now we're working with the Virgo Pisces axes. So Virgo is where we look at our daily routine. Virgo is the practical. It's about structure. It's about organization. And we can see we have Mercury in Virgo, which I spoke about as well. So this energy, right now, there is this invitation to look at where is there a need for more order and structure in your life? And how can that support you? Where are you needing to clean up your routine a little bit? And we know, if we're honest with ourselves, we know. And this energy is supportive of doing that. Now, when we're working with the Pisces Virgo axes, this is also about health. And Virgo is about our physical health. So again, how we're nourishing our body. Pisces is how we nourish our emotional health, our spiritual health. So there's definitely a big focus with this full moon of looking at that, your overall level of well-being from those different angles. Could also illuminate or bring in clarity around what is needing to be addressed or changed, what is needing to be healed. Again, this very healing energy is coming in here. Now, one of the most significant aspects of this new moon is its conjunction with Saturn. So we have Saturn over here at 3 degrees of Pisces, so close to this full moon. And this actually significantly, greatly changes the expression of the Piscean energy. So Saturn is all about discipline and structure. It's like it's bringing us back down to earth. Is the message I heard. It's like coming back down to earth. But of course, we're always, it's both. It's both. We're connected to our divinity and our humanity. We are spiritual beings here in a physical body. And this really speaks to how both come together. But Saturn adds a seriousness to this full moon, really looking at like practical spirituality, not keeping the two things separate. It's not like your spiritual life and then your human existence, but it's like how they weave together, how your spiritual practices support you every day. Like that's what we want, right? We want our meditation practice to not just be relaxing when we're in meditation, but to help relax our nervous system throughout the day, to change the way we show up in our relationships, to change the way we move throughout our day. So very grounded energy here with Saturn coming in. And, Saturn is so interesting in astrology. I've come to appreciate it more over time because it does support us. Like initially we're like, what? It's seriousness, it's structure, it's harsh lessons, but it's actually calling us to step up, to level up, to mature, to just to like step into our true potential, basically. And it helps us create change that is sustainable, not just fleeting change. But if we know how to harness the energy of Saturn and co-create with it, this is change that is sustainable, that is lasting, that creates a new foundation for our life. I'm just hearing from the records, that's a big part of this. You are being supported in creating a new foundation for your life, one that leads to greater well-being, one that is rooted in listening to the voice of your soul, where your intuition is guiding you, one that incorporates creative self-expression. This is also about acknowledging the dreams that you have for this life experience. Like we each incarnate on this planet with different intentions, different soul gifts, different experiences we desire. And as we go throughout life, we continue to add to that as well. So we come in with really strong intentions to begin with. And then throughout our life journey, we continue to really clarify and fine tune what it is we do want. So this really is a call to look at like where you're denying those soul desires, where you're denying what you really want, where your standards are lower than they could be, where you're called to like raise the bar. And when I say all this, I don't mean in a pressure way, although this can feel like a wake-up call, this full moon, but it's not about a pressure way. It's only our ego that would put pressure on things. It really is just an invitation to actually remember how powerful you are, how loved you are, how supported you are on your journey. But it's also a call, it's also a call to lead yourself as well. So it's also looking at where you're waiting, where you're just waiting for the universe to create a change in your life or deliver all these things you want. And you're forgetting that you're part of that co-creative dance. You go first, the universe responds to you. It's a co-creation. So the ruler of this full moon is Neptune, and we currently also have Neptune in the sign of Pisces here. So Neptune's making some interesting aspects, the sextile over here with Pluto. So this is spiritual awakening. I do want to say this too, like this full moon is closing out August, which has been an incredibly powerful month. Like, how is everyone doing? This is the second full moon this month. We had the Lionsgate energy. We're working with a lot of planets retrograde. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of deep soul level transformation that is happening at this time. and it's continuing at this full moon for sure. It's a new understanding of your spiritual gifts. It's a call to transform. Anytime Pluto comes into the mix, there is transformation that we can't deny. So we can try to resist it, but it's better if we embrace it. And then we also have this sextile with Uranus over here, which recently is retrograde as well. And Uranus is about awakening. Sometimes it could feel like disruption if we're resisting the changes that we know it's time to make. So that there's, those powerful planets interacting with Neptune, the ruler of this full moon, that is inviting you into transformation. And these are mutable energies too. Like Pisces and Virgo are mutable energies, which remind us to go with the flow. To go with the flow, to look at where we're grasping tightly to the past and we're not willing to let go of those old habits, those old identities that keep us anchored to something that maybe one time served us but no longer does. And that's where it takes courage and trust and faith to just let go, to allow. But as we do that, we realize that there's so much beauty ahead of us. Like there's so much joy if we just allow ourselves to surrender, go with the flow, be one with the flow. And that's very Piscean. There is no separation. You are one with love. You are one with abundance. You are one with your intuitive guidance. Like it just flows. So let me feel into if there's anything else. These really are the main aspects here. Venus retrograde, I did speak of it more in my last video, a little bit in this one as well. So we still have Venus retrograding in Leo. And that again is that call to look at what do you really love, what lights you up, to make some changes financially as well. Especially with Mercury now retrograde, this can be financial changes, changes in your relationship, but overall, like all those things, yes. But what I'm hearing from the records is like, come back to your heart space and like allow the wisdom of your heart to guide you forward. Allow your passions and what lights you up to be your guide. Lean into that a little more every day. Say yes to that a little bit more. It always becomes hard to do things we don't enjoy during a Venus retrograde, and that is a gift because we become more aware of where we're kind of on autopilot, doing things that don't have heart behind it, doing things that over time are draining our energy instead of replenishing it. And it's that opportunity to choose again. All right, so much love to you all. Share with me below, what are you releasing in this full moon energy and what are you creating? It's beautiful energy for creations. I will also share with you below the flash sale that I'm doing on Soulful Goddess, Awaken and Unleash Your Full Creative Potential. Beautiful course. You're going to be blown away by the quality of content in there. And I am also hosting a retreat in Malibu for the upcoming lunar eclipse. So we're gathering together in Malibu to celebrate the lunar eclipse. The focus is cosmic abundance. I have a beautiful home right on the ocean where we can connect with these energies, manifest with these energies, heal, recharge. So I'm also going to put the link below for that retreat. If you have questions, I'm here. Feel free to reach out. Sending you all so much love. Happy full moon, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.